Hey, everybody. It is Janet Metzger of the Network Marketers Den podcast, and I'm really, really excited. I met a new friend on LinkedIn. You know, I am all about networking, and Karen Keeney, when I read her post and her bio, I said, I have to talk to this lady. And you guys are going to be so excited to hear from her. She is truly a direct selling expert. You know, she's been in our business, get this, 32 years. She's worked at the corporate level. She's worked at the field level in corporate, and she has run her own business. You know, what she says is that her first direct selling business, she started with a kit. I love this part when she said, and a great attitude. That is so important. When she attended a national conference, everything changed for her. She became a professional and she treated it like a business, because you are in business in our great industry. She held weekly team meetings, weekly new consultant training, and monthly leader meetings. She personally held 2 or more parties every week, so she practiced what she preached, and she personally sponsored 4 to 6 new consultants every single month. Her team grew, her income tripled, and then she taught others to do what she did. She traveled around the world on multiple incentive trips. It's always better when somebody else is paying. I love it that way. And she did this with 2 small kids in tow. She learned a lot. And most importantly, she really fell in love with this industry. And she's back with us today on the Network Marketers Den. So Karen Keeney, I want to welcome you and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Janet. It's so much fun to do something like this. It's so out of the ordinary from my daily job. It's really a treat. And I hope people get some value from it.
Oh, I know they will. So I told a little bit about you. Is there anything else that everybody should know about Karen?
32 years. I was quite young, obviously.
I didn't know you could start network marketing at 5. That's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's been quite a journey. So many ups, more ups than downs. Let me just say that.
Right.
There's always challenges in any company, any business, any industry. But for me, what's kept me here, the people. I've met some of the best people on the planet. I'm pretty sure if I got a flat tire in Nebraska right now, I could find one of my direct selling friends to help me out. So it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you know, that is so true. It is truly a small world. And in fact, today I had sent a message to one of my former bosses at my direct selling company to wish him a happy birthday. And I haven't talked to him in 10 years, but every time I think of him, I have such great memories. And that's the power of our great industry. So 32 years, you said that it's the people that have kept you in the industry. What about the people? And what do you love so much about it? Because clearly you don't do something for 32 years unless you're in love.
Yeah. So for me, 2 reasons. First of all, I want to see moms be able to stay home with their kids like I was able to.
Okay.
Or at least have that choice. You know, I think there's a lot of working women who love what they do, but maybe they go to, they leave the house at 6 a.m. They get home at 6 p.m. They're quick feeding the kids, doing homework and dinner and bed and it's very hectic. And maybe they just don't realize they have an option. And maybe some of those women could even go part-time if they love their job, or take a sabbatical from what they're doing, raise the kids, and then go back to it later. Also, the second thing I love about it, when I say that people, watching people blossom, watching somebody like a friend of mine, never been in sales before, never been really in any kind of business before. She was a stay-home mom. She had very little experience. I think she may have worked retail for a short time. And to watch her become one of the top sellers in the company and that journey and how she evolved as a person. And I didn't do the work. She did the work. I just had a little bit of influence to help her get there.
Right.
That's so rewarding.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps because you're absolutely right. I agree 100%. You know, one of the best parts about our business is recognition. But it's even more rewarding to see others get recognized. And it's almost like you're a proud mom when they're
Yeah,
on stage.
exactly.
I absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps
Exactly.
right now thinking about that. So you've been with, and for those of you that have never been part of the corporate life of direct selling, I will just tell you, it's a very small world. And it's not like people stay there forever and ever and ever, because corporate is constantly changing. But you've been with some phenomenal companies, and whether they're one-to-one selling or they're party plans, what do you find that they all have in common? Because it doesn't matter what the product is. It's still about
it
the
doesn't
industry.
matter. The product does not matter. So here's my top 3 in this order. Number 1, company culture. The culture of the company is absolutely first and foremost the most important part of being successful. And when I say culture, I mean how they treat people, what they stand for, what they believe in, what the vision is. Do they talk about their vision? Do they talk about a picture that's bigger than just numbers? Do they have common goals? Do they paint a picture for the leaders to support each other? Even if they're not paid, so to speak, to help each other, does it come from the top that that's how we work in this company? And so to me, culture is absolutely first and foremost. Secondly, is a good compensation plan. I am a compensation plan person. Like, I love to just dig in and study comp plans. And I think, if someone is being treated really well, great culture, and they're being paid really well, they're going to stay. And we know new direct selling companies are popping up every day. And that's wonderful, because I believe the more the merrier. Like, I buy my makeup from a direct selling company and my hair products from a direct selling company and my jewelry and whatever I can do to support the industry. But if I'm working with somebody and they're part of my team, because even though I'm corporate, I still feel like it's my team. Sure. I'm an advocate for the field first and foremost, but I don't want them to get distracted by this new shiny object over here that comes along, because they're so happy where they are that they don't even consider leaving to go to another company. So to me, culture, comp plan, and then third is product. Like you said, product doesn't really matter as much. It challenges me. I have to bite my tongue sometimes when I see somebody say, oh my God, this is the best lipstick I've ever used. I'm going to sign up to sell it. Well, that's not a reason to sign up, because they could discontinue that lipstick next month. And a great company is always adding new products. And some companies now are really big on adding new categories. Like, you may have started in a company that sells hair care products, but now they've added skincare and nutrition, like one of the companies that I worked for. So don't get attached to the product, because that's evolving. Get attached to the culture, get attached to the comp plan, and then product should be the third part of your decision to join a company.
Right. That is so true. I hear that all the time about the products, and I've always said, people, I can go buy lipstick, and I always buy from direct sellers too. I'm just like you, but I could go buy lipstick at my local Walgreens. I am buying from the person. And, when I used to get questioned all the time, how come you're discontinuing that product? I sell a lot of it. Well, there's a lot of metrics behind that. And just because you sold a lot doesn't mean everybody does. So you're right. Don't get attached to the product. Absolutely. Absolutely. Karen, we hadn't talked about this, but you really piqued my interest when you talked about comp plan. It's amazing to me how many direct sellers don't know their comp plan.
I know. And even some of the people that I've worked very closely with that are at the top of their company don't really know how they get paid, don't really understand how the comp plan works. And many times they're leaving money on the table. because they don't really understand how to max it out.
Right,
so that's
right.
one of my passions when I work with people. That's where we start. We start with the comp plan. Like, let's get you to really understand it so that you are not leaving money on the table, but more importantly, you're able to work with people on your organization so that they're maxing their income. Because like I said, when people are treated well and they're being paid well, they stay.
They're
And
going to
that's
stay.
ultimately what we want is retention.
100%. I've always said you got to know how you get paid. But, for those of you that are leading organizations and you have built teams, keep that in mind. Make sure your people know how they get paid. Now, you don't have to go all the way to the top when they're just beginning, but at least the very first level, if you've got a quick start bonus, make sure they earn it. Oh,
Exactly.
it's so critical.
Exactly.
So critical.
And then I'll just add one thing here. Don't wait for the company to do it for you. Take initiative. This is your business. You're the CEO of your organization. Figure it out. If the company doesn't have good compensation plan training, then you do it. And that's one of the things I learned early on. If there's no meeting happening in your area, then you need to start one. If there's no training happening where you live, then you need to start it. And don't wait for someone else to do it for you. Because what happens in those moments when you really step up and do something like start meetings that you've never done before, that's where the growth happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. So having been in the industry for so long, I wrote in the book that I'm a part of, I wrote a chapter that says the more things change, the more they stay the same. And I truly believe that. What do you find for distributors is their biggest challenge, and that they, even back in the day that they encountered and that they're still encountering?
Probably the number one answer I get to that from even top leaders is recruiting. And not just recruiting like one of my pet peeves. Oh, just sign up and you'll get a discount. Just sign up to get a discount. I want to scream.
Yes.
I want to scream. Honestly, Janet, I'm like, you just turned your best customer into a discount shopper. Why would you do that? So not just recruiting for the sake of having people enroll, but recruiting people who really, you set them up for success from the beginning. And I believe it starts in that very first conversation that you have with someone. It's not, the first conversation should never be, buy my kit, buy a kit, sign up. No, the first conversation should always be a visionary conversation. What do you want? What are you looking for that you currently don't have? For me, back when I started, I had a great job, but I was working crazy hours. I was a restaurant manager. Oh. I wanted time freedom, but I still needed the income. So really the only question I had when I started was, can you show me how to make $50,000 a year and work less? And she said, yes. I said, sign me up. So get to what it is that they need that you can help them with before you even start the conversation about join my team. Nothing irks me more. Well, the first thing that irks me is when people say sign up to get a discount.
Right. I agree.
The second thing that irks me is when I get a direct message from a total stranger who says, you don't know me, but join my team. And it just happened to me again the other day. So I don't know if leaders are teaching people to do this or where it's coming from, but I'm not even going to order from her now because it turned me off so much.
Absolutely.
This is a relationship business. This is about, first and foremost, building relationships with someone, getting to know them, letting them get to know you. And then we talk about what we have to offer for them that might make their life a little better.
Right.
Time, money. Some people do it for the travel. Some people do it for the friendships, right? So we need to get to it, what they really want before we even start that other conversation.
100%. Oh, and Karen, when you and I first met and we talked, that is one of my biggest pet peeves the social media thing would join my team. If I had $1 for every one of those, I'd be really wealthy.
Yeah.
But the part about bringing people on to get a discount, can you, it drives me crazy. And that's the worst thing they can do. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I am so passionate about it. And I think people are sick of me talking about it. They need to hear from somebody else about that.
So one of the things that social media has done for us is people think it's easy, right? They think all they have to do, I call it the post and pray. You post something and you pray somebody will sign up. Here's my link, or they send it in a direct message. You don't know me, but join my team. Or the worst one, like you said, here, don't pay full price. Just sign up to be a distributor and get a discount. That does no good for anyone. Now, are there exceptions? Probably. Probably a very small percentage of people who come on to get a discount actually end up building an organization. If you talk business with people and you talk relationships with people from day one, and you treat it like a business from day one, I think you're going to get much better results. You're still never going to have 100% of the people say yes. And that's okay. The people who are at the top of the companies probably have just asked more people than you have. It's probably, there's no magic. There's no secret formula. They're not saying anything magical, other than they probably lead with a business and they treat it like a business. Right. So they're bringing on business-minded people like me. When I was new, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to make money and I wanted to cut my hours at work. And I actually was able to quit that restaurant job very quickly. You know why? Because I did what they told me to do.
Right. It's a process. It's duplication. That's what it's about. I always say there's a lot of people. Yep. A lot of people that are a lot smarter than me that design this. So yeah.
And then 100%. Something you said, everything old is new again. So if you're watching and listening, I'm going to challenge you to do some of the old fashioned stuff, because clearly posting and praying on Facebook is not working for you. I know it's not. I'm going to challenge you to do some of the old school things that honestly still work. Keep it in mind.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, so what is your favorite old school thing? And I hate that when people say, oh, that's old school. No, it's not. It's fundamental. But what's your favorite? What do you love to do?
Well, I have to tell you, after being in this industry for 32 years, I'm quite often the oldest person that I work with, which I'm okay with. But the tried and true methods, my favorite is three-way calls.
Okay.
There's a right way to do them. There's a wrong way to do them. I just did one a couple of weeks ago with somebody that I was working with, and the girl said yes on the phone because we did it the right way. The right way to do it is super simple. If you have a prospect, you get the easy part. All you have to do is introduce them to each other, and then you're quiet and you let your upline, if you're using your upline, or maybe it's not your upline, maybe it's somebody from corporate, maybe it's a sideline, maybe it's somebody that you just are really good friends and you're accountability partners for each other. But all you do is get the person on the phone and let the two of them talk. And it's so much, if, like I said, this is a relationship built business. A three-way call, there's no better way to build a relationship. There's no better way to make somebody feel special than to have them on the phone with two people. And one of the things I'm hearing a lot, I watch, I see people on Facebook all day. They're doing lives, they're on Instagram, they're making reels, they're making their stories, they're doing TikTok videos, but they're scared to death to get on the phone. And I'm going to tell you, if you would just try it, it's so much easier than you think it's going to be. And it's so effective. You will get to where you're closing. And there's one of those salesy words people are afraid of.
Well,
Closing. You can get to where you're closing 50% or more when you get great at three-way calls.
Right. So for those people that don't know what a three-way call is, it's something that's tried and true. And like you said, it's three people either on a call or on a Zoom call. But so can you maybe start out like from the beginning, like how you would ask somebody to get on a three-way call or a three-way Zoom or whatever? How would you approach it? Because I think for a brand new person, this is really important. But even if you're established, this is the way to go, because like you said, they feel more important because it's two people. So let's start from the beginning, because I think this is so important.
So let's say you've been chatting with somebody and they're like, yeah, I might be interested. What would be weird is if you said to them, okay, I want you to get on the phone with my leader, Janet, on Friday afternoon at 2:15, and she wants to talk to you. That would be weird, right? Yeah. That would be awkward. Instead, here's what I learned to do. Let's say you're my sponsor and I have a prospect that I've been talking to, and I'm really getting the sense that a three-way call would be the next step. I'm going to text you the number 3. You're my sponsor. I'm just going to quick text you the number 3. And you're going to say yes. Or if you're too busy, you're going to say no. But you know, when I text you the number 3, that I have a 3-way call that I want you to do. And right now, it needs to be spontaneous right now.
Okay.
Or I might even say, text you the number 3 in 10 minutes to give you a chance to, prepare a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in car line. You can be in the grocery store. You can be wherever you are in your day. You do not need to be sitting at your desk with full hair and makeup. That's not what I'm talking about. They need to hear voices. 3-way chats do not work as well as 3-way calls. They need to hear voices.
Yeah.
So Janet's my sponsor. I'm going to text her the number 3. She's going to send me back a quick yes. I'm on the phone with my prospect and I say, you know what? I just thought of something. Let me get my friend Janet on the line. Hang on. And don't make it a big deal. I'm going to add Janet to the call. If you don't know how to add somebody to your call, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. It's not hard. And then I'm going to say, Janet, I've just been talking to my friend Mary. She's thinking about doing this. She might have a couple questions, and I thought it would be great for the two of you to meet. Mary, I want you to meet my friend Janet. She's been doing this longer than I have. She's so amazing. She's helped me so much. And I'd love for you guys to meet because I think she could help you with this also. And then I'm just going to let Janet take it from there. So then Janet's going to talk to Mary, and Janet, all she's going to really do is ask Mary a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. Janet does not have to have a pitch, memorized. We're not selling. We're getting to know Mary. And the biggest thing we want to find out from Mary, what does she need that we can help her with? Is it money? Don't go off on the comp plan. Maybe Mary doesn't need the money. I met a very successful heart surgeon who joined direct sales. She didn't do it for the money. She needed free time. She was in surgery every day and wanted more time with her family. Mm-hmm. So if I had gone on and on about the money, I would have probably not been effective. So Janet's going to ask my prospect a lot of questions. Do you love your job? Tell me about your family. Tell me about what you guys like to do for fun. And then tell me, are you guys, here's the question people are afraid of, but I'm going to put it out there. Are you guys set financially? And that makes people uncomfortable to ask people about money, but I'm not asking her how much money she makes.
No.
I'm asking, are you set financially? You'll be surprised what people tell you. Oh my gosh, I have 2 kids going to college. I don't know how we're going to do it. Oh my gosh, I'd love to retire. I don't know how we're going to do it. Oh, I love to travel, but we don't have the money to pay for it. You would be surprised what people will tell you.
Sure.
And we're building that relationship. And then it's very easy. Janet says, you know what, Mary, this sounds like it would be a great fit for you. We can help you with that college fund. I'm going to hop off now and let you finish up with Karen. So Janet is just, and before Janet hangs up, she's going to say, by the way, I'm really glad that you picked Karen to work with because she's going to be here for you. I've watched Karen support and help other people, and I know she's going to do the same for you.
Right.
So
right.
Janet's going to hop off, and then I'm going to go to the next step with Mary.
Right.
What we've
it
done.
Doesn't sound that hard. It doesn't.
It was what,
hard.
5 minutes?
If that.
5 minutes.
And you know, the other thing that I think is so great, there's a couple things about the 3-way call. If you're brand new, you don't know what the heck to do or say or whatever. So you've got that. But oftentimes, you know, you're talking to people that you know, and they know you as Karen, the fun girl, and this and that. Whereas somebody else comes in and maybe they're the more professional. So even if you're at the top of your compensation program, I think it's good to bring somebody else, and especially if it's somebody that you know really, really well. So.
Right. And so if you've noticed what the main thing is, I, as the sponsor, I edified Janet, my upline, right? Yep. I edified her to my prospect. I edified my prospect to Janet. And then before Janet hung up, she edified me to the prospect. Right. So there's a whole lot of edification going on, which is what? Relationship building.
Absolutely.
So now Mary has a chance to say, wow, not only do I have Karen to support me, if I do this, Janet's also going to help me too. And I really enjoyed talking to her.
That was awesome. That was awesome. And I thank you for reminding me, you know, because we do go these other directions, but I love the text. If you text somebody number 3, just a simple, easy code. I love that. I love that. You know, the other thing I heard you say, and it's so automatic for you, but we talk a lot about learning how to interview and ask questions. And what you did is you used form, family, occupation, recreation, and the money. But I love how you said, are you set financially? That's such a soft way of asking about money.
And you will be, like I said, when you get to that question, if you've already done the FOR, when you get to the M question, which is, are you set financially? You've already started building a relationship with this person. You will be surprised. I've had people tell me their whole life story.
Oh, right? Yeah. Be careful what you ask sometimes.
Yeah. Just like the first one, tell me about your family. Oh, I have these kids and they're driving me crazy, or whatever they tell you.
Right.
And then job. I always say, oh, you must love your job. You know what they say? Oh, I hate my job.
I hate a job. Yeah.
They'll tell you everything they don't like about it. So it was form. Good job.
Right.
See, we were trained the same way.
It's just so automatic. But speaking of form, what is it that when you're not working in this great industry, what do you like to do for fun?
I'm a movie buff. I love movies. Yes. Okay. And I'm one of those people, my husband will come in, he's like, are you seriously watching Legally Blonde again? Yes, I haven't memorized every line yet.
Sure.
But I love movies that have, you know, a happy ending. I do not like scary movies. My daughter and my husband watch these scary movies and I can't. So Legally Blonde, for example.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite movie? I'm curious.
Well, this one's on my mind. So I'll tell you about Legally Blonde and why I love it so much, because everybody perceived her as a ditzy blonde. And here she gets into law school and becomes a lawyer and wins her first case. But she's still kind of a ditzy blonde. Like she stayed true to who she was. And, you know, she's still a Cosmo girl is how she won the case because she knew about perms. Right. So what I love about that is being authentic to yourself. But don't let anybody pigeonhole you and tell you you can't be a lawyer because they think you're not smart enough. One of the things I love about that movie. Other movies, very inspirational movies. Remember the Titans is one of my
Oh,
favorites.
that's a great movie. I love that movie.
Good Will Hunting. I love, like, anything that has a great message. And at the end of it, you're like, you feel better, right?
Right.
I watch movies to feel better. I also
Absolutely.
love to read.
Okay.
I will say I don't read as much as I would like to, because I find I get distracted. Part of it, honestly, is not traveling as much as I like to travel. And so reading is really one of my traveling activities. But,
Sure.
The last 2 years, we haven't been traveling as much. So I find myself getting distracted. What are great books that I love to read? In the summertime, those romantic comedies that just kind of take you away from everyday life. But
I always like to say they have no social redeeming value, and that's okay.
No value at all. When you finish
good.
the book, you already know what the ending's going to be before you even start it.
Right.
You're going to fall in love. And it's a no-brainer. I think that's why I like them, is because I can turn my brain off, because my brain's always thinking about business. Honestly, it's hard to turn it off. But for business books, John Maxwell, by far, I don't think you could ever go wrong reading a John Maxwell book.
No, you sure can't. You sure can't.
For help and inspiration. And one of the things about mentors that I want to say, don't go all over the place picking 25 mentors.
No.
Find one and study all of their things until you've finished, and then move on to the next one. So my kids used to say to me, again, this was a long time ago, they were little, Mom, do we have to listen to that lady in the car every day? Because we had, the CDs and whatever I had in the car. And I'm like, yes, we do. I haven't finished with her yet. And so they grew up with a lot of personal development around.
Right. And you know what? That's the key, is to keep it going. So, well, I will tell you, Karen, this, first of all, I can't thank you enough, but you have put smiles on my face, because I love talking to somebody that, clearly, like you'd said before, it's about the culture. We have the same values and the same beliefs. And I believe that they are the right thing. So for our direct sellers, what would you say, what's the best advice, 1 to 3 things that you could give a direct seller that's listening, regardless of where they're at in their company?
Yeah. So people ask me all the time, how do I motivate my team? It's probably the number one question.
Oh, yeah, I get that one a lot.
And here's my answer. You can't. You cannot motivate another person. Motivation comes from the inside. They have to be motivated. But here's what you can do. You can inspire them. Inspiration comes from the outside. So you can inspire someone to get motivated. How do you inspire someone? You show them what's possible. You're the top recruiter on your team. You're the top seller on your team. You earn every incentive. People said, oh, I've already been to Hawaii. I don't care. Earn the trip to Hawaii again, because it's not about you. And so be the best distributor that you can possibly be, so that you can show them what's possible. So when somebody comes to you and says, no, but nobody and anybody, right? Those are our
Nobody
enemies.
wants to buy my product.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sell.
Yeah. When somebody comes to you, if you've just signed up 4 people this month and somebody comes to you and says, nobody wants to sign up, you can very authentically say, well, that's funny, because I just signed up 4 people. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what I did. Let me share with you how I did that. And having that authentic conversation, because you are in that activity, never stop doing the things that you did to get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is a big mistake that people make. You're so spot on. So spot on. And the things that you do, when you talked about the 3-way call, if somebody's really struggling, that's a real win-win, because it's in the moment, you're able to show people how to do it. And at the same time, you're going to help them build their business. So, it's talk about being efficient. To me, that's one of the best things. And
you know what else happens when you do a 3-way call with somebody in your organization and they get a yes? guess what happens for you? You inspired yourself to go do the same again. Like my dad taught me, he was in sales. The best sale you get is the one right after you got a yes. And so don't stop when you get a yes. That's when you need to keep going.
Right.
And so doing a three-way call where your new person gets a yes, that should inspire you to keep going and do some for yourself.
Right, right. It's the law of inertia,
Yeah.
It's the law of attraction. So, well, Karen, again, you've got so much great knowledge and so much passion and so much on the fundamentals. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, is there any way that they could get in touch with you, and what do you offer? So you just want to tell our audience a little bit about
Sure.
you and what you do and how you can help them.
Love to. So there's two places you can find me. LinkedIn, and we're going to put the link to my LinkedIn page. Just send me a message. Question. If you just have a question for me, I'd love to hear your questions after you've heard this call. Also on Facebook, I have a professional page for business, and you can also message me there. And I just love to hear your questions. If you would like to do a little more in depth about the three-way calls and using form, and then I know the next question they're thinking is, okay, she said yes, now what do I do? Right? I can help you with that as well. And I'm happy to help. I haven't stayed here because of the money. The money is important, but I will tell you, I'm here for the people. Like I said from the beginning, like I just love to see people take this industry and really become the best version of themselves.
Right. Oh, that's so refreshing. So for our audience, in the show notes, you will see every way to get in touch with Karen. But these fundamentals are really, really key. And my passion is helping the direct seller, just as Karen does, but everything she's talking about is designed to help you to reduce your turnover, which is so very important. And that's what we do with the Network Marketers Den, is help you to reduce the turnover. So Karen, I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart for helping. And I feel like I have a friend now in Texas. I love Texas. It's a great place. But it's all about the people, and that's why you have been so successful. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your enthusiasm. And I loved it when you said you got that last question. I have to say, how do I motivate my team? And I always say, you can't motivate, you can inspire. I always say, it's a tricky business. You got to inspire when you can't fire. You got to find a way. It's a volunteer army, but you're so spot on. So to our listeners, thank you again for tuning in and listening to the direct selling expert, Karen Keeney. She's got so much to offer, and we will see you in the next episode of the Network Marketers Den. Take care, everyone, and here's to your success.